Welcome back to another automation breakdown where we break down automated solutions for your business needs. I'm your host, Chris. Okay, so imagine that you have a flow that every time that this manager column right here changes, the flow will run. Sounds great, right? But the problem is that the trigger is when an item is created or modified, which means literally any change that happens on this line item, this flow will be triggered. Someone will update a due date, the flow will run. Someone updates the status column, the flow will run. Someone just corrects a typo, the flow will run. You are wasting API calls and processing this for absolutely no reason. So today we're going to hop into Power Automate and I'm going to show you how to continue a flow if and only if the column that you care about actually changed.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got.
Before we hop into Power Automate, let me show you this list one more time and maybe some of the capabilities that Microsoft Lists really has. While you are on this list, let's either right click on this line item or you can go over to the title column and click on the three dots. Either way, get you the same pop-up menu and go over to version history. The version history shows all of the changes that were ever made to this line item. Even if a Power Automate triggered and no changes were made, you can see that I have a bunch of line items here with, well, no changes. And then you see the original line item, well, right here. A little bit ago, I also made some changes where I changed the department now to HR processing, changed the department to HRIS, the manager I changed over to Aurora Monroe. But what I really want to focus in on are the version history. You see version number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 11. We are going to need this version number when it comes to Power Automate. With that said, now let's hop into Power Automate. Let me go over to Create and let's go ahead and do an automated cloud flow. You'll see right here when an item is created or modified. Let me check that box right there. This will be the trigger that triggers the rest of the flow. And of course, let's give our flow a name and smash the create button like you were going to smash the like button. With this new flow pulled up, we need to edit our trigger when an item is created or modified to get around some of these invalid parameters, which is adding in the site address and the list name. I've got my site address pulled in and the list name. This is going to be our active employee roster. Now, the next action is really the magic of this video. So let's hit the plus icon and we will search for get changes for an item or a file. Underneath SharePoint, you'll see get changes for an item or a file. Let's click on that. We need to add in our site address and our list or library name once again. This ID, this will come from when an item is created or modified. So let's go over to our dynamic content. Under when an item is created or modified, snag in the ID. This is where things get interesting. And it's asking, since when do you want me to pull the information? And this will be not from the current version number, but from the previous version number. So let's click into this line item, go over to our expressions. Inside of our dynamic content, let's go ahead and search for our version number. And you'll see under when an item is created or modified, version number is right here. And this is the current version number. So we need to take this number and subtract 1 to get, well, the previous version number. Now, Microsoft, for some reason, does not recognize this as a number just yet. So the first step that we're going to do is we're going to add this as an integer. And we'll wrap this again with the integer around it. And then from here, we're going to say subtracting. What are we going to subtract? Well, this newly created integer, comma, and 1. We're going to subtract 1 from the current version number. Let's go ahead and add. Okay, so I'm going to pause right here. I'm going to save this version. That way we can go ahead, test it out, and I'll show you some of what's going on in the background when we test it out. So the first things first, let's go ahead and change Hank McCoy's manager from Aurora Monroe to, let's say, Jennifer Walters. And our newest flow just ran. So let me go ahead, click on this. And again, we're going to take a look at some of what just happened. So let's go ahead and click on the trigger when an item is created or modified, and we will look at the raw output. We'll click on show raw output. And if you scroll a little ways to the bottom, you'll see version number right here, version 12. That's the current version. So let's go over to our get changes for an item or a file. Scroll down a little ways and you'll see since version label, now it's 11 because again, we're looking at the last version number until version 12. So the changes from 11 to 12, what were they? And you'll see everything down here is a Boolean or a true false type. So we have last name false, full name false. Nothing was changed except manager email, which is labeled as true. So now we can use this true or false with a condition to go, hey, was the manager email column changed? Was the department column changed? Yes or no? I am back in edit mode, which means our next step, let's click on the plus icon, go over to control, and our next step is going to be condition. This is going to be a condition, true or false. So inside of choose a value, we'll go over to the dynamic content, the lightning bolt right there, show more, and you'll see all of those columns. Has column changed start date? Has column changed manager email, which that's what we need. So I'll click on this is equal to, and in this case, I can just outright say true. If this is equal to true, well, run the contents within true. If this is false, either leave it blank to do literally nothing, or if it's false, maybe have it run a different type of flow. In this case, just for the true condition, let me go ahead, click on the plus icon. I'm going to add in a very easy action, grant access to an item or a folder. Underneath SharePoint, you will see that action right here. Once again, it asks for the site address, the list or library name, and then the next step is asking for the ID, which this is going to come from when an item is created or modified, the originating ID column. And you'll see that here inside of dynamic content when an item is created or modified, ID. The next item is recipients. Who do we want to give access to this line item? Well, right now it's asking us to manually type in someone's name. So we'll go over to settings, use dynamic content, and now we can add in dynamic content to give access to. So we'll go over to the dynamic content of the lightning bolt, scroll all the way down to when an item is created or modified, and this for us will be the manager email. We're giving the new manager access to this line item. And what roles do we want them to have? Roles can be can edit or can view. In this case, I'll just give them can view access. And let's go ahead and save. Boom, your flow is ready to go. We recommend you test it. So this time I will change Hank McCoy's manager from Jennifer Walters to now Lucius Fox. Our new flow just triggered 2 seconds ago. Let's go ahead and click into it and we will see how the flow is progressing. When an item is created or modified, again, this triggered due to literally any change within the line item. However, our next action, get changes for an item or a file, ask the question, was the manager email column changed? And for that, we use the condition yes or no. And in this case, yes, we did change that. So granting access to an item or a folder, in this case, we were able to grant Lucius Fox access to that single line item. I have refreshed the SharePoint page. Let's go over to Hank McCoy's line item, right click and see manage access. Who has access to this line item? And you'll see all of these were originally here, but Lucius Fox was now added with can view access to this single line item.
I'm like, boom, you looking for this?
And now, of course, on Hank McCoy's line item, I'm going to change his department from HR processing to now corporate strategy. And we have a new flow that ran because, again, literally any change to that line item will trigger this. However, if we look in the condition, the grant access to an item or folder was not triggered because, well, we didn't change the manager email column. And because there are no actions within the false section, well, literally nothing happened. This was a shorter video than the normal video formatting I've been putting out lately, but really I wanted to show the version history and how you can control the triggers in Power Automate. Areas that I've actually used this flow in, just like the example, giving someone access to that line item if and only if a manager's email has changed. I've also done this for sending an email only when the status column has changed. So the status column changed from this to this. Now I can go ahead and send this type of email to this person. Same thing using the status column. I've also done it to start an approval chain as well. So there's just so much application that you can use for it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, what you've either used this for previously or what you might use this for next time. Also, I've seen some of your comments. I am making more videos because of the comments that you guys have left. So, first of all, thank you, and more to come. So, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you in the next video.